When you take the time to think about it, snakes are a really weird group of animals. I mean, they're a completely limbless moving spine with a head attached that has undergone a dramatic transformation to specialize in swallowing things whole. They have no eyelids, no sternum for ribs to attach to, basically one lung, no ears, a flexible skull, and move by pushing and pulling their long bodies using a series of muscle contractions and grippy scales on their belly. Now, people give the ocean all the credit for containing life's strangest cast of characters, and yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna act like for dramatic purposes that's not the case, because have you looked? Have you looked? But I think snakes are a perfect window into just how strange an organism can get on land if it undergoes the right adaptations. I mean, you think of living animals on land and most likely you think of something with legs. This is just a living noodle with potentially toxic syringes in its mouth or a muscular body to strangle things to death. Folks, this will be a deep dive into the world of snakes. Though I'm no herpetologist, it clicked for me that this group of animals is absolutely fascinating, and I would like to use this video to elaborate on why I think so. The format of this will be more like a cloud of thoughts jumping to different topics rather than a systematic, clean breakdown of snakes as a whole. At least that's how I think this came out, so I apologize if this video seems non-cohesive. But yeah, this is a fun brain dump. Nonetheless, I learned a lot in doing research for this video, and I think if you stick around, you'll find the same joy and appreciation for one of Earth's greatest predators. Folks, this is the miracle of snakes. Snakes, including every other reptile, mammal, amphibian, and bird, are all considered tetrapods. This term, meaning 4 feet, refers to all vertebrates that have, well, 4 feet, or at least had these body parts at some point in their ancestry. In the grand scope of animal evolution, arguably one of the greatest developments was the transition of vertebrates living in water to living on land. The lobe-finned fish, that being fish with sturdy, fleshy limbs, are the ancestral group of animals that tetrapods descended from, and are the ones responsible for you, snakes, and every other non-fish vertebrate existing right now. So, say thank you, Sarcopterygians. Thank you, Sarcopterygians! Doesn't it just warm your heart to hear the younglings respect their elders? Wow, fantastic. The circumstances that drove some species of these fish to venture onto land are interesting, but they would lead me down a path that would stray too far from the point of this video. But what you need to know is that these fish had to face new challenges trying to live on land, such as not drying up and turning into a raisin because the sun's obliterating your body with heat, providing support to your body so you're not crushed by the unrelenting force of gravity, and improve how the lungs intake oxygen from the air to support the body under the unrelenting force of gravity. I'm definitely oversimplifying this, but the point is, because the fishy ancestor of all tetrapods had 4 limbs, everything that a descendant of it is, for the most part, locked into having 4 limbs, and it's almost unthinkable to imagine what life would look like if tetrapods didn't have them. I mean, look at all the uses this group gets out of these structures. Flying, digging, swimming, climbing, running, the list goes on. So having fewer of these limbs or none at all must make you a schlub on the fast track to extinction, right? Well, no, you can live a successful life being limbless, and snakes underwent some major transformations to comfortably live with this body plan. Snakes can be found in almost every corner of Earth. Deserts, grasslands, jungles, deciduous forests, the ocean, and yes, even in unexpected environments that are uncharacteristic of reptiles, that being chilly landscapes like above the Arctic Circle. Some are as small as a coin, while others can get so big they can swallow a deer whole. So clearly things are working out for them. But how did they get here? Well, the origins of snakes have 2 running hypotheses. A marine-centered one where they originated from a lineage of lizards closely related to the mosasaurs, the group of reptiles often mistaken for dinosaurs. You get that? They're not dinosaurs, okay? It's not this is not a dinosaur. Mosasaurs are That's a dinosaur, okay? Dinosaurs aren't lizards. Did you get it? Did your brain get it? Did you get it? Did your brain get it? The other hypothesis is that they branched off from a lineage of burrowing lizards, losing their limbs over the course of generations. Regardless, why have limbs or ears when they're just going to get caught on aspects of the surrounding environment and impede your movement? This ancestral limb possession is retained in some groups, like boids and pythons, which have fashioned the remnants of their hind limbs into pelvic spurs, structures used in mating. Most other reptiles, mammals, and birds have pretty rigid skulls with solid components fused together that are completely immobile, except for the jaw, which moves from a single hinge. Snakes, however, to accommodate their feeding style of swallowing things whole, underwent an adaptation that still blows my mind to this day. Their skulls are flexible. Yes, instead of the single jaw hinge exhibited by most vertebrates, snake skulls have several different hinges in the skull that allow different parts to swivel and move independently. One letting the bottom jaw, which by the way isn't connected at the front, to move outwards, another in the back to widen the mouth's gape, and another lets the top jaws shift back and forth. There's more, but the point being, snake skulls have adapted to basically wrap around and over their prey, conveyor belt walking them further into their maw. And that's not even it. You might be wondering, how is a snake supposed to breathe when it has a deer in its mouth blocking all air passage? Well, snakes have this body part called a glottis, a fleshy pipe connected to their trachea that during feeding can be extended outside the snake's mouth and act as a snorkel, siphoning in air, allowing the snake to breathe and not suffocate while eating. This, the glottis, was my eureka moment, realizing how weird snakes are as a living thing and have rightfully cemented themselves right next to elephants and whales in my ongoing list of animals that if you told someone about them and they didn't know what they were, they would think you were lying or talking about a fictional creature. Snakes are a highly derived lizard that has just become a flesh tube, specializing for nothing but gluttony. And you know what? The strategy works. Snakes may have gotten their start around the Jurassic period, but it was after the extinction of the dinosaurs leading into the Paleogene that snakes began to radiate into a myriad of forms. Many snakes today have organs called heat pits, holes in their face containing thermosensory cells that can detect the infrared heat emitted by mammals. Rattlesnakes, for example, have these organs, and they belong to a group called pit vipers, named for their characteristic heat pits, and their relative, the bushmaster, is probably one of my favorites. For one, they're a large snake averaging around 6 to 8 feet long, potentially even reaching lengths of 12 feet long, making them one of the longest venomous snakes on the planet alongside black mambas and king cobras. Not to mention they can weigh up to 15 pounds, so for snake standards, bushmasters have some heft. This snake hides itself alongside commonly traversed areas of the forest, inside the root system of trees or the sides of pathways, using its blotched body patterns to blend in with the undergrowth and leaf litter. There they patiently wait for passing prey, typically mammals like rats, spiny rats, agoutis, and squirrels, where like a landmine they strike unexpectedly, envenomating their prey with a toxic concoction that can cause blood clots, hemorrhages, necrosis of muscle tissue, and the outright failure of muscle movement. Yay! That's so fun, I want that to happen to me. This is without a doubt an efficient predator that demands respect. A reputation that inspired the names of various firearms, reflecting the snake's deadly capabilities. Fun fact, the bushmaster can use the environment surrounding it as a tool to deter threats, as they have a spike on the end of their tail that they vibrate against the leaf litter to produce an alarming rattling sound, similar to that of rattlesnakes. Now, of course, mammals aren't the only group of animals that snakes have targeted for hunting. Frogs and toads are a favorite food of hog-nosed snakes, a species that develops specialized popping teeth in the back of their mouth designed for deflating toads and frogs, who puff themselves up in a final act to prevent being swallowed alive. Sometimes even snakes themselves aren't safe from other snakes. King cobras and king snakes feed almost exclusively on other snakes, hence the king portion of the name. The king snakes in North America are so prolific in this behavior that even some of the baddest of the bad venomous species like copperheads and rattlesnakes are no match, as king snakes have developed an immunity to their venom. This eternal struggle of predator and prey has forced snakes to live out lifestyles that go beyond the typical ground-treading lifestyles that many species exhibit. exhibit. In an almost unbelievable feat of evolutionary triumph, snakes, a completely limbless group of creatures in the shape of a noodle, are capable of taking to the skies. In the southeastern forests of Asia, in countries like Thailand, Cambodia, and Indonesia, 5 different species of flying snakes exist. Now, don't get all riled up like, oh, snakes can fly, as this name is misleading, as they can't achieve sustained powered flight. Instead, they can glide from tree to tree in pursuit of bats, birds, and even flying lizards, which also glide and don't actually fly. Aside from hunting, gliding from tree to tree allows them to avoid predators and travel efficiently. Let's just say it's like if you could leap from building to building without having to walk down your apartment to the next building over. Maybe that's not a good comparison for humans, as you have a lot less to worry about on the ground than a gliding snake, who would be hunted by predators like mongooses and other snakes. But I guess to bridge the gap, imagine if you had a high chance of getting mugged in a dirty alleyway. You'd probably want to glide from rooftop to rooftop also. So how is this possible? Well, snakes in their ever so deviated body plan have hundreds of ribs that aren't attached to a sternum, allowing them to freely move. This development aids in feeding, where the ribs can move around whatever a snake is eating. The gliding snakes in this instance spread their free-moving ribs outwards, creating a concave shape where air can be caught in the newly opened space under their bodies. All the while, they slither through the air to maintain stability. This is one of those mind-blowing examples of just how out there and extraordinary a creature can become under the right influences of natural selection. And gliding isn't the only additional use snakes can get out of freely moving ribs, as cobras use them to create their iconic hood when threatened. And that's where I'm gonna leave things off. The script that I wrote for this video actually turned out to be way too much, so I definitely bit off more than I could chew, and this is taking longer than I expected to complete the entire thing, so there will be a part 2 to this, maybe even a part 3. There's plenty more about snakes that I want to talk about, believe me, there's a whole lot more. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely like and subscribe and do all those fun things. Seriously, please, please do it. Yeah, no, definitely do it if you want to see more, and thank you to everybody on TikTok and here on YouTube for following and subscribing to my accounts. It's really awesome to see how many people are enjoying the stuff that I'm making, so yeah, definitely spread the word. Tell your mama, tell your dada, tell your dog. Yeah, seriously, thank you. I appreciate it, and there's definitely a lot more to come. I enjoy doing this stuff, and it's awesome to have you folks here. So, yeah. With that being said, I'll see you later on the next one. Okay, goodbye.